Gotta check, make sure the sound is clear. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, we got plenty of sound on that. I'm sorry, Curtis. All right, let's get it on. Pump it up. All right. We're the ISUPK under command of General Yohana. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Started in 1969, right? And since 1969, the ISUPK has been bringing out the truth of the Bible, that the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and the so-called Native Americans are the true children of Israel. They are the true biblical Jews of antiquity, and that we are the children of the Most High. You understand? And that's something that our people need to wake up to so that we can understand what it is that the Most High expects of us and what his prescription is for our survival in this hell and this captivity that we're living in. You know, and that's something that, you know, we do 7 days, 6 days a week. Monday through Friday, we got classes from 7 to 9 in most cities. Here in the Eastern Shore class, we do classes from 4:30 to 6:30 at 1176-7 Beechwood Street at the Somerset County Library. So you can come, you can attend class, or you can tune in to the YouTube live stream. If you're tuning into the live stream, you can click on the in the comments, click on the attendance sign-in form so that you can get credit for your attendance, which is required in order to earn your Hebrew name. You understand? So last week, well, not last week, the week before, the last time we had class, we were talking about how our oppressor has really made a very calculated, targeted effort to destroy our women. You understand? To destroy Black, Hispanic, and Native American women with, you know, with his philosophy and his doctrine and his lifestyle. You know, our women, you know, get poisoned by the type of lifestyle that our oppressor propagates and, you know, and puts out and pushes, that makes, you know, makes it seem like being a certain type of woman is glamorous, you understand, and beneficial. And our women, unfortunately, without the leadership of righteous men, will fall for that type of attack. You understand? You know, the Bible says that, you know, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but powers and principalities. You know, our women are under a spiritual attack by, you know, the spirit of our oppressor. You know, so our women, when they see these commercials and they see the fame that different celebrities obtain and the way they, you know, go about obtaining that celebrity and that status, our women can be deceived into thinking that that's what they should do. You understand? And this isn't a warfare. This isn't a tactic that has been unsuccessful. You understand? This tactic has been absolutely damaging. You know, we got a lot of brothers in a terrible condition, but our sisters are, again, it's almost a different attack that's pushed on them. And unfortunately, one of the main things that they do to our women is they teach our women that they teach our women that they don't need a man. You understand? And they start to push that type of mentality, you know, where a woman feels like, well, I don't need no man. If I got a man, ain't no man gonna tell me what to do and this and that. And that's the way that they go into, you know, and go about forming relationships with the men that they meet and they may, you know, be fond of, right? And then before long, that type of mentality causes discord within the household. You understand? And the issue is, I don't want to say the issue, but the problem and the solution is that's not the way that the Most High has taught our women to be. The Most High ain't teach his daughters to be women who feel like they're above men, or women who feel like they can do it on their own. You understand? We got into a lot of scriptures last week about how a virtuous woman cherishes her household more than herself. You understand? And our oppressor pushes a philosophy of selfishness on our women, you know, that destroys them. And not only does it destroy them, it destroys the children that they have. You understand? And in a lot of cases, it can help destroy the man that they're dealing with. You know, so it's important that, you know, we as men understand what it is that the Bible expects of, you know, our women, as well as for our women to understand what the Bible expects of women, so that we as a nation of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the 12 tribes of Israel, we can start to form healthier relationships that thrive. You understand? And actually bang out beautiful, strong products as children, right? In this captivity and in this hell that we live in. Where we as a family aren't falling for the attacks of our enemy. You know, we're not falling for the same old okie doke left and right. You see? But again, if we don't know what the Most High expects of us, and if we don't know any other way, then all we're going to do is resort to the lifestyle that our oppressor pushes. So that's why the ISUPK is so important, because the ISUPK teaches exactly what the Most High expects of every man, woman, and child. And not only do we teach it as, you know, like this eye-opening thing, because a lot of what we hear is contradictory to what we heard from church. You understand? It's contradictory to what we hear from, you know, the media, and what we hear from celebrities, right? And the talk show hosts and the Real Housewives. With the Bible, like what we find out how a woman is supposed to be, it's like, man, it's all, what? This is my first time hearing this. So it's one thing for the ISUPK, we bring out the truth of the Bible, man. We bring that truth out. But more importantly, we live out that truth. We understand that that truth was meant for us, and that truth is the medicine that's going to fix us in the condition that we're in. You understand? It's going to improve our lives independently. It's going to improve the lives of, it's going to improve the health of our family as a unit. You understand? By providing structure and order, which is what the Most High is all about. You understand? So, I mean, again, we can recap. I don't really want to recap too much of what we went over. We went a lot over what a virtuous woman was, but we're just going to kind of pick up from there. But then we're going to build on that to start, you know, really pinpointing some of the specifics, all right, of how a woman should conduct herself a little more specifically within a relationship with a man, because therein lies a lot of the issues. Our brothers and sisters can't seem to stay together, right? Our brothers and sisters seem to kind of, you know, there'll be this initial attraction, then there'll be, you know, maybe some, you know, some physical activity, and then that's the end of the relationship. And that's not the way that the Most High has it set up. You know, that's not the way that the Most High instructed his children to live. And it certainly, just from a practical standpoint, that's the root of why we have so many children being raised without their fathers. They're being raised by single mothers, so to speak, you know, or they're being raised by a mother who now has, you know, another man living in the house. Kids are being raised by stepfathers, you understand? And then that stepfather is even temporary in a lot of cases, you understand? So that's one thing that, you know, if we could get to the root of the relationship problems that our men and our women are having with each other and figure out the solution, the order, then maybe we'll be able to start saving lives, you know, saving the lives of our children. You understand? All right. So someone get me Proverbs 12:4. Let me know when you get it. Proverbs 12:4. Got it? All right, let me have you read that nice and loud so that the microphone picks you up.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
A what?
A crown to her husband.
Read it again.
A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
What type of woman?
A virtuous woman.
Does anyone remember like any of the qualities of a virtuous woman from last class? I'm on.
Obedient.
Obedient. Kind. Anything else? Anyone else remember anything else? A virtuous woman is obedient.
She doesn't care about only herself.
Yeah, she's not selfish. You understand? She is selfless when it comes to her family. She gives up everything for her family. You understand? She sacrifices so that her family has. She goes out and gets so that her family has. It's not about her getting a bunch of Facebook likes and Instagram likes and DMs. That is not what her ambition is about. You understand? A virtuous woman's ambition is about taking care of her family. You understand? And we're going to get the next scripture will kind of get a little bit into that. Keep reading.
But she
Hold on. She is a what to her husband?
A crown to her husband.
She is a crown to her husband. Does anybody know what a crown is? A crown. I'm on.
Only crown I know is something that a king usually wears on his head.
Excellent. Give him a hand. A crown is that thing that you see like someone of royalty wear on their head. You understand? And what does that crown let people like? When a king wears a crown, what does it let everybody know about him?
That he's in charge.
Yeah, it lets the people that look at him can see that he has a certain position, he has a status, he is he's a representative. You understand? Like he represents this kingdom. He's the head honcho in this kingdom. You understand? So when a woman is a crown to her husband, right? You got to think about it. How do crowns look? How do crowns look? I'm on.
Usually look nice.
They look nice. They look glorious. You understand? Like imagine a king with a beat up old bag on his head. The heck? You understand what I'm saying? But a king is going to wear a glorious crown. You understand? In the ISUPK, we rock glorious, headbands and scarves and whatnot. And I mean, just a crown is like these are glorious in and of themselves, right? But a king's crown is so it's meant to be something that's beautiful and glorious, right? And it lets people know that he's the man. Does that make sense? So read that again from the top about a virtuous woman.
A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
A virtuous woman is supposed to be a crown to her husband. A crown to her husband. So that woman, when people look at a king's crown, what are they supposed to know?
He's in charge.
That he's in charge. So when people look at a man's, wife, what are they supposed to know about that man just by looking at his wife?
That he's in charge.
That he is in charge. Give him a hand, because that is a very important concept that does not get taught in the Christian church. You understand? That does not get taught here in America. Every woman gets to kind of, is encouraged to kind of be her own type of whatever, you understand, opposed to a representation of that family. You understand? So a woman is supposed to conduct herself in a way that when people see her, they're supposed to know that, okay, she not doing anything and everything that any other, that all these other women are doing. She's not going to the club twerking. She's not showing off. She's not getting into fights with a whole bunch of other broads. She's not doing a whole bunch. She's not representing herself. Does that make sense? When she goes to the grocery store, she's not just going on her own behalf. She's going as a representation of her husband and her family. Does that make sense? So she's supposed to carry herself like that. And here, and one thing that's key there is that it's supposed to be visible. You understand? People are supposed to see the way that she's dressed and know she's apparently the property of someone else. You understand? That is a woman with some dignity. That is a woman who has someone who she answers to, someone who she gives so many damns about that she submits herself to, and she's not out there trying to get attention from every other man by dressing a certain way. You understand? And by walking a certain way, and by talking a certain way. She's out there visibly belonging to someone else. Does that make sense? All right, keep reading.
But she that maketh ashamed.
But she that maketh what?
Ashamed.
But she that maketh ashamed. She that goes out, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but like sometimes there'll be a sister, you know, in the world, I'll say a sister in the world who's married to another brother in the world, right? And she'll go out in public and people will look at her conduct and the way she's dressed and they'll say, damn it, I thought she was married to so and so and so and so, right? I thought she was married to such and such. I thought she was with old dude. It sure don't look like it. She leaning over the bar. She got this dude buying her drinks. She, you know, she's, you know, leaning her ear over to this man talking all close to her. She's all giggly, kikiing and stuff with, Lord, you know, with everybody. Like that's shameful behavior. You understand? Like imagine how the people who know that that's this brother's wife, right? They see her acting like that. Well, damn, what does that say about him? Is he the man or no? You understand? Like he has no control over her. You understand? He has no power. Like she is showing off, and that is embarrassing to be, you know, for that brother. You understand? A virtuous woman is going to go out and represent that man. She's going to go out and represent the type of man that deserves her submission. You understand? And her selflessness. She's going to go out and represent the, you know, the type of man that is strong. You understand? And deserving of her humility, her humbleness. You understand? And her covering herself up, her not giving, you know, attention to other men, and allowing other men to, you know, give her so much attention. You understand? It illustrates two different type of men through her conduct. You understand? One brother is holding it down. That brother is it must be royalty of some sort by the way she's acting. And the other situation, that is a shame. Like that's a shame. You know what I mean? For that brother, that's the product. That's his wife. That's who he's in charge of, and that's how she's acting. That's a shameful brother. You understand? Like that's what this is communicating. Keep reading. Start it. But
she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones.
She that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones. Imagine what that does to a brother to hear about how his rib is out in public halfway naked. You understand? Do you think that's comforting to him? Do you think that could drive him crazy? You understand? Do you think that could make him angry? You think that could make him maybe go and do something to somebody that might have bought his woman a drink? You understand? What happens if he goes and confronts a bunch of people, a bunch of dudes that giving his wife attention when she's out there half naked twerking? He comes out there mad and he confronts all the brothers that's looking at his wife pretty much taking her clothes off. What happens? What could happen to him? He could get himself hurt. He get into a fight, get into a tussle with these brothers, and he might get himself hurt. You understand? a rottenness to his bones. It is bad for him. It is a bad thing to have a woman like that. You understand? So do you see how the responsibility is almost twofold, right? You got the responsibility of the woman to go out and be a representative of her husband. You understand? A well qualified, a well suitable, a very strong woman for her husband, right? But then you got a man who should seek out that type of woman. You understand? A lot of our brothers, if you were to think about today, what type of woman are our brothers going for? The woman that covers herself up or the woman that's barely dressed at all? You understand? Do you see how our oppressor has kind of pushed this type of lifestyle that our women have bought it? And not only have our women bought it, our brothers have bought it too. Our brothers don't know what a virtuous woman is. You understand? A lot of our brothers think that a virtuous woman is a woman who has, a breast job and a butt job, and you know what I'm saying, wearing the red bottoms, and you know what I'm like. That's their idea of a strong woman. When a virtuous woman is almost, I don't want to say the opposite of that, but a virtuous woman is going to have other qualities that come to the forefront before all of that. You understand? And again, it's about her conduct. It's about what she does, not how much attention she can get from folks. Does that make sense? All right, let me get Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. We're going to read right many of these verses. And what I like about this is, Proverbs 12:4, that's where we, that virtuous woman being the crown to her husband. That's where your mother got her name from. You understand? Your mother's name means crown to her husband. You understand? Because your mother has proven that that is the type of dedication that she's shown to this family and to her husband. That when she goes out, she is a representative of this family, and she does not make this family ashamed. You understand? But Christians, Proverbs is in the Old Testament. A lot of Christian churches, they don't care what's written in the Old Testament. They just care what's written in the New Testament. You understand? Now, what if the New Testament is describing a similar woman? You understand? With similar qualities. Then I guess the church needs a complete overhaul. If you go look at the way women are dressed in churches, you understand? If you look at the way, how promiscuous a lot of those women are in the church, you understand? On your praise and worship teams and whatnot, it's a terrible thing. You got that Ephesians 5:22. All right, go read it nice and loud.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
Stop right there. Wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands. Anybody know what the word submit means? Submit? Anyone want to look it up? Since no one threw their hand straight up, I'll give you guys a second to look it up. Submit. I'm on.
Accept or yield to a superior force.
To accept or yield to a superior force. Keep reading.
Or to the authority or will of another person.
Or to the authority or will of another person. So if it says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, right? That means you're going to yield to what that man wants. Does that make sense? You know what it means to yield? Look up the word yield. Yield, the definition is give way to arguments, demands, or pressure. So you're giving way. So what it means to yield is to let the other person go. Like when you're driving, right? Like one car might have the right of way and the other car has to yield, or basically let that car go first and then they can go. So it's almost like a matter of wills. If you've got a woman and a man, and the woman wants to do A, but the man wants to do B, what's supposed to get done according to the Bible?
The woman is supposed to yield to her husband.
Which would give what choice? A or B? If the woman wants A, but the man wants B, what choice is supposed to get made?
B.
B. That woman is supposed to yield to that man. The choice is supposed to be B. It's biblical. You understand? That's not like it's a very, not only is it biblical, but it's practical. It's practical. It's a practical way of getting things done efficiently. Now, in American culture, or our oppressors' culture, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but they say relationships are 50-50 between a man and a woman. You know what I mean? The man ain't no better than her. She ain't no better than him. It's 50-50. So if the woman wants to do A and the man wants to do B, what happens in a 50-50 relationship? What has to happen? What gets done, A or B? We don't know yet. What do they have to do in order to make a decision?
She's supposed to yield to her husband.
That's what she's supposed to do, but that's in biblical, you know, the biblical formula for a relationship, the woman is supposed to yield to the man. She's supposed to yield to her husband. But in our oppressor's culture, it's 50-50. He has no power over her. She has no power over him. You understand? So what has to happen? If she wants A and he wants B, what has to take place? They're going to butt heads. But what has to, almost by definition, what has to happen? Sis?
Compromise.
A compromise is what should happen, but what takes place before a compromise even? Thank you. Give them a hand. Give them a hand. The very nature of our oppressors, you know, system of a relationship, or the guidelines or the structure of a relationship being 50-50, if she wants A and he wants B, well, hell, there has to be an argument that takes place. She has to state why A is the better choice. He has to state why B is the better choice. And I guess after they both laid out, you know, and those discussions and arguments are always so civil, aren't they? Aren't they always so peaceful and just full of manners and full of consideration and understanding and compassion and compromise? Aren't those, which you understand a different type of situation where maybe that little, I want A, I want B. Well, this is why I want A, this is why I want B. Well, you always want B, well, you always want A, and then how it can escalate into something that is not loving and tender and caring and on the same page. You understand? Like it can become something very violent, unfortunately. You understand? Which is a terrible way for a man and a woman to go about a relationship. You know, furthermore, And unfortunately, in some cases, these arguments, again, sometimes this choice between A and B is something frivolous, like dinner. You want spaghetti or hamburgers. It could be something frivolous. Sometimes it's over, things of a little bit more significance. Maybe over what should we spend? Should we buy this? Yes or no. Should we move here? Yes or no. Should I take this job? Yes or no. Sometimes those arguments have, those decisions have a little more gravity and a little more stake. So those arguments can be a little more serious, you understand? And it can get to a point where it's very aggressive, you understand? Because both sides feel the way they feel. They feel passionately about what they think should be done or what they want to be done. And sometimes, again, it's very unfortunate. Sometimes these arguments take place in front of the children, you understand, which can have damaging effects on the children. You understand? You got little girls seeing this argument between their mother and their father, and that can affect them down the road, you understand? There are little girls who can see that type of argument between their mother and their father, and then they say, well, hell, I don't want nothing to do with no man. You understand? I don't want no man yelling at me. Unfortunately, some cases it gets violent, and the brother might put his hands on that woman. The woman might put her hands on that man, and you're looking at children who are saying, "Man, to hell with being in a relationship with the opposite gender." You understand? With the opposite sex, I'm not interested in that. That's how that goes. I'm looking at a man and a woman who so-called love each other, battling and fighting each other. I'm not with that. So then they might yield themselves to homosexuality and that type of shit. Yeah, so like that type of behavior. You understand? So we're talking about the structure of a relationship having impacts and negative effects on not just the two adults involved, but the children as well. Which is why the Most High set up a system of order. You understand? The Most High is all about order, and that's why He has it set up that way. He has the man who is the head of the family, and He has the woman who is submissive to him. You understand? Now, just as important as it is for that woman to be submissive to that man, it's as important for that man to be submissive to the Most High and to live a lifestyle that the Most High would approve of. You understand? To follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. To go about life with a certain type of wisdom and integrity and strength. Because guess what? The decisions that he makes, she's going to follow when he has a virtuous woman. You understand? So he can't make mistakes in decisions. He doesn't have the luxury of being wrong. There's a lot of pressure in that. There's a lot of responsibility in having a woman that is submissive to you. Does that make sense? So you have to, a brother has to be able to step it up and make very calculated, intentional decisions, because she's going to do what he says. If he wants A, they're going to do A. If he says B, they're going to do B. C, D, E, F, G on through. If he changes his mind halfway through, then the family's going where he says to go. It's a lot of responsibility, young man. You understand? So you got to develop into the type of man that deserves that type of, you understand, yielding and that type of submission. You understand? You've got to get to a point where you're that type of dude who can call the shots and call the right shots. That's why it's so important that you brothers get into this ISUPK out there and figure out what it is to be a man. Not the type of man that our oppressor pushes, not the homosexual Kevin Samuels, Tyler Perry, TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar type of man, you understand? But learn how to be a real man in this war that we're living in. You understand? In this captivity. Because you're going to have to be a leader. Period. You understand? You're going to deal with women, you're going to have to learn how to be a leader. And you're not going to learn how to be a leader in the Christian church. You're not going to learn how to be a leader in the Muslim mosque. You're not going to learn how to be a leader in the Hindu temples. You're not going to learn it in college. You're only going to learn it where men of the Lord get raised up to be men of the Lord. You understand? And that's in the ISUPK. I know some more on that scripture. Go ahead and keep reading. Verse 23.
For the husband is the head of the wife.
For the husband is the head of the wife. He's in charge. You understand? He'll do the think. What? I just gave you the answer, so I'm going to run with it. He'll do the thinking for her. You know, where your brain's up here, this is where your thinking takes place. You know, he'll do the thinking for his wife. And one thing that's so important, I learned this from General Hyman a little while back, man. A man can't submit his wife. You understand? Like a man can't. How do I say this? It's not like you guys know what the UFC is. You know, they fight in the octagon. You know, the brothers, they fight, they kick, they punch, they choke each other, they twist their arms and stuff. And someone's getting their arm twisted too bad. What do? They tap out. They call that a submission. You understand? Where he just can't take the pressure no more, so he taps out. That's not the type of submission that our women yield to us. The type of submission that our women give to us isn't the type of submission that we can squeeze and shake and beat out of them. You won't get the type of submission that the Bible's talking about. The type of submission that our women, you know, a virtuous woman gives her husband is a submission that is willing. You understand? It's a submission where that man ain't beating her. He's not choking her. He's not fighting her. He's not hurting her. He's not threatening her. And she is giving it to, like, she's giving it. You understand? It's not something that can be taken. That's that type of submission. It is something that can, a woman, the type of submission that this Bible's talking about is the type of submission that a woman gives to a man that she trusts and she has faith in. You understand? And that she can count on. Again, a man of the Lord. You understand? So let's, for the husband, start over at 23.
The husband is the head of the wife.
Keep reading.
Even as Christ is the head of the church.
So if you think about how Christ is the head of the church being, you know, all of Israel, us, the ones who follow Christ, you understand, the whole body. Christ laid out the expectations. Christ lived the expectations. You understand? He said, be like me, be like me. You understand? He told all of them, be like me. Right? Keep reading.
And he is the savior of the body.
Christ is telling, you know, he's telling the church or his people to be like him, to save them. You understand? Like it's a protective reason behind it. You understand? But behind his expectations of them and his leadership of them, he's trying to protect them. You understand? He's trying to guide and protect them and save them from all of this stuff that we go through, all of the dangers that are out there, all of the traps and all of the snares. He's trying to protect us from that. You understand? The same way a man is supposed to be in his family. You understand? He's there to protect you. So it would behoove you to yield to that protective authority, to yield to that protective advice, to yield to that protective wisdom. You understand? It doesn't make sense to buck against it, because what will happen if you don't listen to someone who's trying to protect you? What will inevitably happen?
You'll get hurt.
You'll get hurt. You understand? So our women have to understand that yielding and submitting to a man, it's not about you being weak. You know what I mean? It's not about punishing you. It's about protecting you. You understand? It's about having someone that is going to look out for your best interest, even when you aren't. You understand? And I mean, I don't know how old a sister has to be to understand that, you know, sometimes the decisions that they make aren't the best decisions, you know? But to find a man that can help you, that can help make decisions for you. Now again, let me clarify. I'm not saying that what a woman wants is always wrong either. But what I'm saying is a woman should run those decisions through her husband. Her husband might agree. Yeah. You know, woman might want A for dinner. Brother might say, what? Okay, yeah. A works. And there it is. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You understand? But that woman just has to have the type of spirit to where if that man says no to A, then hell, I guess it's no to A. It's okay, it's fine. It's not because he hates me. It's not because he just doesn't want me to have anything. And that's not what it's about. I'm sure there's going to be some logical reasoning behind it. You understand? And then you get a good brother. Most brothers in most cases, when you're dealing with a tender woman like that is so willing to submit, and she's going to rock with whatever it is you want to rock with, any opportunity that the brother has that where he can, oh yeah, sure, you can have that, no sweat. He's gonna look out for her. You understand? He's gonna cater to her. He's gonna make sure she's well taken care of. You understand? That's the way it's supposed to be. But we run into a situation with the 50-50 relationships where the woman is demanding that the man do this, that, and that. And the man is demanding that the woman do this, that, and that. And it just doesn't work like that. It's a way that the Most High has it laid out to where the man is in charge, the woman submits, the man is trust me, the man is moved by that submissive woman. You understand? That submissive, tender woman is going to be taken care of by. Does that make sense? And again, just like the man can't force her to submit, she can't force him to, pamper her and baby her and give her what she wants. But when it's put in order, you'll find that they both end up giving each other everything they need. Does that make sense? Man, what time be flying? Let's get to Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 26. Ecclesiasticus 26 and 26. Again, we try to figure out what the Most High expects from our women so that we can figure out what we need to expect from our women. You understand? And then we can, start to make better decisions about the relationships we find ourselves in, the relationships we get ourselves into, so that we can start making changes, and help, provide therapy to the relationships that we're currently in. You understand? Like our women need guidance. You understand? You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear
it. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 26. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all.
A woman that does what?
That honoreth her husband.
A woman that honoreth her husband. What does that mean? To honor her husband. Honoreth her husband. More?
Like submit.
Yeah, submit. I mean, put some respect on it. She treats her husband a certain amount of respect. You understand? And that comes by way of that's demonstrated through her submission to him. You understand? That's demonstrated through her representation of him when she's out and about, how she conducts herself. You understand? That type of woman that honoreth her husband is, what does the Bible consider her? Read.
Judged wise of all.
Wise of all. You understand? That is what a wise woman does. That is how a woman with wisdom that's sick of failed relationship after failed relationship after failed. Like there's a point in time, right? And this is just my personal perspective on it, but young women, the first they get into relationships that don't work out, don't work out. And then it seems like at some point when they get older, like a little more aged, you understand, they kind of get sick of it. And then they become a little more tolerant. It's almost like they start to not do some of the things that they used to do. Like you take a younger sister, she might nag a brother's ear, nag. But then you get an older sister, you know what I'm saying? Like you look at your grandparents' relationship, right? Grandma ain't nagging Papa left and right. You know what I'm saying? Like she, the nagging is, you know, she's done with the nagging. You know what I mean? After a while, you know, and that comes with, you know, with wisdom. You know, it's a wise thing. Nagging ain't gonna get nothing good out of your man. You know. All right. Keep reading.
But she that dishonoreth him and her pride shall be counted.
Hold on. She that dishonoreth him and her what?
Her pride. And
her pride. You take that proud 50-50 woman that's just as good as a man and ain't no man over me, no man tell me what to do. I could do bad all by myself. What else did they say, man? Don't need no man. That type of woman, right? With that type of mentality, that type of pride that dishonors her husband. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Shall be counted ungodly of all.
Shall be counted ungodly of all, man. And the Christian church is full of these ungodly women, man. The Christian church is full of women that think that they should, like, that because they might make more money than their man, then they can tell their man what to do. Then they're above him. You understand? That, you know, because their man might not have a job and she does, that she gets to dog him and, you know, threaten to throw him out the house left and right, and, you know, all types of nonsense. That is an ungodly woman, man. And the pastors are advising our women to leave men that don't make a certain amount of money. You understand? Like if he don't got the type of job you know that makes 6 figures like you want, then leave him. The Christian church is full of this type of advice, and that's that. Our people are destroyed because of it, man. You understand? The Christian church ain't teaching our women to be godly. They're not teaching them to honor their husbands. You know, back in Ephesians, one of the scriptures was saying that, you know, it was verse 23, chapter 5, verse 23. It was saying, actually, let me go back to it. I don't want to misquote it. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 23 was saying that, actually 24, therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. You understand? That our women, like, they're supposed to be, like, submit to their husbands like Christ. You understand? Like, do it. Like, that's how you serve God. You want to serve God? Serve your husband. Serve your husband who's serving God. And by default, you're going to be serving God, because he's not going to let you do something that's outside of what's lawful. You understand? Outside of what's decent, you know? So you could keep reading that Ecclesiasticus.
Verse 27.
No, we not on 27. So like it, go back up to verse 2. 26 verse 2.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 verse 2. A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
A virtuous woman who rejoiceth her husband, man, that brother's going to have a peaceful life, man. And I don't know, it's like cause and effect, right? If that brother has this type of peace when he's in the presence of this woman and he's dealing with this woman, it's not going to, like, he's not going to be so high strung to where he's making it unpleasant for her. You understand? It's going to kind of like reciprocate this type of peace. You understand? In this harmony. Drop down to verse 13 for me.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband.
This type of woman is going to delight her husband, man. Like when she goes about life with this type of grace and this peace, because she knows she's protected. She knows she has this man who she submitted to his authority over her, and he is going to always try to counsel her in the best way possible and direct her and instruct her. There's a peace that can come with that, and she's going to be able to move with the type of grace that delights him. He's going to be delighted to see her in such a space. You understand? Where she doesn't have to feel like she has to be the man of the family or the man of the house. You understand? And take charge and make every decision. She gets to kind of relax and let him run the show. She gets to be a passenger. You understand? A very well respected passenger. But then she's not so stressed. A lot of our women are trying to do it on their own and they're stressed the hell out, man. Which is why we find a lot of our women abusing alcohol. A lot of our women are on drugs. A lot of our women are living this type of this facade of a party lifestyle. They just always got to go out and have fun. How much partying is there in the world? You're going out 3 nights a week. Like, how much partying could you? Maybe the partying isn't even really satisfying to you. You understand? Maybe being the type of woman that can go out and have sex with whatever man she wants isn't really being satisfied in a way that gives her a grace. You understand? Maybe smoking that weed isn't really giving you the type of rest and peace that a lot of our sisters and a lot of our brothers too claim it does. You just smoking weed to take the edge off. All right, so if you smoke weed to take the edge off, then you smoking again and smoke. When the hell is the edge ever off if you're constantly smoking it? You understand? Like, it is what you're doing really work. Maybe that's not what gives you the grace and peace that you're seeking. Maybe you're out of order. Maybe if you get in order and find a man that you will submit yourself to, that is, again, one of these One West brothers who's going to serve the Most High. You submit yourself to him, you let him start helping you make decisions about who you should be friends with. You understand? And where you should go, where you shouldn't go, how you should dress, how you shouldn't dress. You let him get involved with that and see if it doesn't bring you a certain amount of peace. You understand? Keep reading.
And her discretion will fatten his bones.
And her discretion will fatten his bones, man. When he sees that you're going to yield and submit, and then when you make decisions, you'll make decisions that he would have you to make. You understand? He like, maybe initially he might have to say, don't wear that. I don't like that. Don't wear those tights. You understand? That's too revealing. Wear something else. Don't wear that. Nah, put a jacket on. Do this. Cover that up. Cover that up. He might have to instruct you initially, but then it comes a point where you now know how he expects you to dress. So now he's not even having to tell you what to wear when you come out and he looks. You got on something that's completely appropriate. He sees that. He sees, oh, okay, now you got it. You know what I mean? That's discretion. That's decision making. You're making decisions that I would agree with. You understand? What does that do for him?
Fattens his bones.
Kills him.
Fattens his bones.
Hurts him.
Fattens his bones.
Annoys him.
Fattens his bones.
Fattens his bones, man. It's going to help him thrive. Does that make sense? It's going to help him, give him energy, give him strength. Does that make sense? It's going to give him a certain type of, now we getting it. Now we getting it. Now you compare that to the lifestyle where the man and the woman are always butting heads over every decision. You understand? Because she has her way of doing things, he has his way. That's not how it's supposed to work. What I just described, when her discretion, when her decision making becomes decisions that she knows he would make, that's being one flesh. That's the one flesh that the Bible was talking about in Genesis, where a man will leave his mother and his father, and he'll cleave to his wife, and they'll become one flesh, one mind, one body. They'll be on the same damn page. That's a lot better than that 50-50 argument every other day. You understand? And that's the way that the Most High has it, man. That's the way that the Most High demands it of his children. And that's the way it works. It's the type of thing where, because of what we've been taught, it just sounds so foreign. You know what I mean? It's so different from what we've been taught that it's like, I don't know about it. But trust me, it's the type of thing that you take it, you implement it, you pump this into your existing relationship or into your next relationship, and you'll see, oh, this is common sense. You understand? Like, it becomes absolutely crystal clear, factual, evidence-based. This works. You understand? And that's how that's what the Most High has done. He's taught our women how to be virtuous, and us brothers, our sisters need to learn how to be virtuous and what it is to be virtuous, and understand that what our oppressor pushes is not virtuous. And our brothers need to learn to seek out virtuous women. You understand? Or teach our women what being virtuous is, and that teach them that what our oppressor pushes is not virtuous. You understand? And change our expectations. Everybody understand that? And with that, we're the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And since 1969, we've been bringing out the truth of this Bible, that every Black, Hispanic, and Native American are the true children of the Most High. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. And we're the ISUPK Eastern Shore School. We have classes every Wednesday on 1176-7 Beechwood Street at the Somerset County Library from 4:30 to 6:30. You know, you come in here, you get in this class. If you tuning in online, make sure that you sign out so that you can get credit for your attendance. All right. And with that, I'm gonna say Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbarakatham to the Akim, and Yahweh Shema Alathan, Bahashem Yahweh Shai to all the Akwathium. And with that, Shalom.